Hello there, Geek Collective, and welcome to Geeks Plus Comics, where we're more than just your average geek. And thank you for joining us for another Let's Talk Comics. And I am here with a very special guest today, Neil Gibson, who you may have last seen on the show back in October. I believe we last interviewed him back before we were even Geeks Plus. We talked to him about Twisted Comics. I'll put the link up for you to go and click and check out that interview. But Neil is back today to talk about a very special project that at this moment is now not only live on Kickstarter, it has almost doubled its Kickstarter goal with 25 days left to go at the time of recording. He is working on the Black Mirror official graphic novels and the USS Callister, which is coming out. Neil, thank you for joining us for today. And we chatted a little bit before this, like trying to get this set up. Neil, thank you for joining us while you're on holiday. You're on vacation. You are like out with the family. You are overseas enjoying yourself, and you're taking the time to talk about this. I greatly appreciate you giving us time during that. I know how hard it is to get time to just relax and chill. So I appreciate it.
Oh, I appreciate you because it means I get to escape my family.
But thank you so much for it, taking this time. I'll take as long as we're able to get and talk, because we had a great chat before about getting into some of Twisted Dark and some of the stories you tell. And one of the things when I reviewed a couple of the volumes of Twisted Dark on the channel, and it was so funny because when I reviewed them, one of the first things I said was describing them to people, like, if you've not read Twisted Dark, it's very Black Mirror-esque. It's a very like modern tale of like a fairy tale story with a dark twisted ending, kind of more modern eyes, like very Black Mirror-esque. And then the news drops, because last time we interviewed you, the news hadn't came out yet that you'd be doing Black Mirror. And then the news dropped that you were the one going to be helming like the Black Mirror comics, which is just phenomenal. How did that even come about?
It's mostly luck, actually. We just pitched at the right time, at the right place, and the rights holders. It wasn't actually the Twisted Dark; it was actually the Theory, which is our sci-fi spin-off of Twisted Dark. And they read half of that, and they liked it, and also they went online, and like yourself, there are so many reviewers who said it's like Twisted Dark, Tales of Unexpected, Twilight Zone, and so they thought, actually, this is the right guy to make it, because they liked the products that I'd done before, and they liked the pitch. So it was luck and timing that happened.
That's fantastic. That's absolutely awesome. And to get a project, that must have been an ecstatic thing for you, getting a project like Black Mirror. Black Mirror's a massive property now. It's like, what, 7 seasons of it? And so much of the early seasons as well, steeped in, both of us being from the UK, steeped in British culture and British horror in those at least first few seasons of it. How did it come about, like, get like the story you're starting with as well? Because you've kicked it off with a big one. Like, USS Callister's one of their most popular stories. It's one of the most popular. I mean, even the most recent season got a sequel episode to it, which Black Mirror never does.
Yes. Have you seen the sequel?
Yes, I have.
It's. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan. I really liked it because the way they flipped it from the characters, how they change, and like you think, oh, I think this, you know, who's the good guy, bad guy. No, you don't.
Yeah, it's
It
so
shows
well
so much more
done.
depth to it. Very well done. So the reason I picked that one is because I used technology, and I used I went around like the top 20 review sites for that measure the best episodes of Black Mirror ranked from best to worst, whatever. And I asked them to amalgamate them all, and I then put box plots for each one, so you could see the range, and I could see the most beloved of all of them. And the top two are San Junipero, USS Callister, followed by I think White Christmas and Entire History of You and White Bear. So, but then those are the ones that everyone says are the best ones.
Yeah.
So let's start with those. I mean, I'm hoping we can have original stories in the future, but that's not my decision to make. But right now, I get to retell these great stories, which I'm delighted of. And the thing is, there are some people online who are like really excited about this having the comic book version of it, which is great.
Yeah.
And to be fair, there are other people who are saying, "Well, if it's a retelling, I've already seen it. Why do I need to see it again?"
Yeah.
Which I understand, but it's like a different version of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. You have, Baz Luhrmann's version versus an online play. It's a different medium, and like, or just two different actors playing the same role, totally changes it. Like Wyatt Earp and Tombstone, very different films.
Yeah.
So I it's not for everyone, but if you like comics and you like that type of story stuff, I think you'll like what we've done, because I think we've done a great job with it. And to be fair, hats off, a lot of the hats off to the artist Silvano Beltrano, and I can show you what he's done. Um, in fact, I'll just tell you right now, actually, because
Yeah,
some of
go
it's
for it.
quite cool.
Go for it.
So in the in the film, when you first watch USS Callister, it actually has three, one, two, three. It has four different art styles in the TV version.
Mm.
Now, I may not realize this. So in the opening scene, it looks very 1960s. There's like black lines down the side of the screen.
Oh
Right, and
yeah,
there's a
yeah.
right. So we do 1960s art style, like Jack Kirby style for that. Then it goes to the real world and it's much more modern. So we have the same artist, but it's like a modern style. Then we go back to the game. It's not as old, but it's still in game. So we go for 1970s art style, like Neil Adams. And then at the end, when it switches to J.J. Abrams, when they're like in the real world, it's like all this bloom and everything, we change the art style again. So, and that's just one of so many things we do, even like with the dialogue we change. And there's so many, if you know comics, the things we're doing are like subtle nods. If you don't know it, you'll love the story anyway. Well, I think you'll like the story anyway.
Yeah.
But if you know what we're doing, you go, oh, I see what you did there. I like that.
That's phenomenal. Like that's an amazing thing to take on, and just such a beautiful little detail to add. To take something like the different art styles in that and say, like, how can we adapt that for a comic? And like, well, let's replicate comic styles of that era, like you said, the 1960s with the Jack Kirby style, and the 1970s with Neil Adams. Like, that's a phenomenal idea to do in the comic, and it's like that's beautiful just to add that little touch to it.
Well, that's just the art. The coloring we do as well, but just the lettering. So, like when we started reading comics, it was all uppercase.
Mhm.
Nowadays they have some lowercase ones because it was all handwritten back in the day. Um, but I still prefer uppercase, frankly. But what we've done is when he's in the game and he's the captain, he's like totally in charge and in command and confident. So his font is all uppercase, and everyone else is in lowercase. But in the real world, we tried flipping it actually, where he would be lowercase, everyone was uppercase. But I didn't like it; it was jarring for me. So what we did was actually just decrease the font size.
Oh
So
yeah.
he literally has a smaller voice than everyone else, but it's so small you don't notice it. Some things that's in the background, and I want to give you an analogy for this. What I thought I saw with Shakespeare, Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Shakespeare, actually Romeo and Juliet. Um, these are things that I didn't notice, but it's you can't help but experience it. The coloring they used, the two houses are different colorings, blue and yellow, for the Capulets and the Montagues. And when Romeo first sees Juliet, it's through a fish tank, which is full of blue and yellow fish, like in between.
Mm.
And later on in the film, he starts wearing the colors of the other house. Now, I did not notice that watching that, but
No,
certainly your subconscious is there,
that's amazing.
and that's
Actually, yeah, I never even noticed that. That's phenomenal.
yeah. So I use that with colors and stories. Like so
Oh.
in other comics I make. So this guy's gonna meet this girl, and they're gonna hook up later on. But the start, and he's wearing a purple tie, and her bag is the exact same shade of purple. No, and nowhere else in the comic do you see that exact same color. So that there's a connection that they're going to that between them, those two. It's subtle, and that's what I stole from Romeo and Juliet.
That's
But
amazing,
I
actually.
love.
That's really cool. I'm going to be looking for that everywhere now, like those color connections and stuff. Like in,
So the master of that in modern times, I believe, is David Fincher. If you look at his color palette,
mm,
so if you look at Jordi Belair or something like just how it's not realistic, but it's minimized color palette, the way they do it. Um, he has one guy just to make sure all the clothing, all the cars, all the settings are matching a certain palette. So the aesthetic is spot on. It's a level of detail that's extraordinary, and you have to respect this. This is why he's world class famous.
yeah, I mean that's it. It's just that elevation and creation of stories, isn't it? Like, 'cause you talk about like, is I think we kind of talked about it last time you were on, like, creating a comic, like you can just start and you can start drawing and you can start writing and you can start building, and then it's like, but you start then elevating what you're doing, and like, okay, there's little touches and little techniques you can use to tell the story and refine what you're doing, and just simple things like that, like color palettes and like you talked about the lettering, like when he's talking in his actual office, but he's got such a smaller voice compared to when he's the captain and stuff, and like just little things like that are just such beautiful little touches that you don't always notice, but it always intrigues
See,
me.
this Mark Pierre White says that's what perfection is. It's lots of little things done well.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a problem in that because most people won't understand or see what you're doing, which is fine, okay? Because at the core of it, they should still enjoy it. And this is one of the reasons he gave up his Michelin stars, because he was judged by people who didn't understand what he was doing. They knew less than him. And so why should I be judged by you? So he gave back his stars. So it's great to keep pushing, but you go too far, people don't appreciate what you're doing. So there's always a balance of it. It's why, frankly, I gave up doing magic tricks. I used to be into magic a lot. And
Mm.
uh, I got to quite a high level, but the difference between professional and amateurs is that professionals learn the same tricks they do for new audiences. Amateurs have to learn new tricks for the same audiences,
Oh yeah.
right? Yeah. So, and then I'd spend 2 weeks practicing a really hard trick. Who, if someone knew magic, would go, "Wow, cool," but it had the same effect on someone who knew nothing about magic as a trick that took me 5 minutes to learn, because they didn't know the difference.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why make the effort if the result's going to be the same? So that's the thing to bear in mind as well. So you can do, like, I always talk too much on these podcasts. I
No,
get
you're
excited about
fine.
comics.
Look, that's the whole point of being here. Is like the whole point of doing Let's Talk Comics is I want to talk about the nitty gritty and details of comics, and I look. I'm known for going off on tangents and stuff. So getting a creator to go off on a tangent is perfectly fine with me. You do not need to worry about going off on tangents in this show. That's what we're kind
Well,
of
I'll,
known
I'll talk
for.
about. I want to talk about Watchmen, and there's a scene where this, I think it's a snow globe or something, is spinning. It's in space, and someone's thrown it, and in the background there are stars, but they're actually a constellation from Earth, and he matches it as the thing is spinning, so it actually is realistic. And this is before computers, so it's like hands-on. Took so much time to
That's
do it.
crazy. Yeah.
No one, I did not notice this. No one does,
No.
but maybe a fraction of 1% does, and they go, "Wow, see what they did there." And that's how you get evangelists about your stuff. But you have to also accept that most people won't notice it,
Yeah.
and accept it. Just go with it, and that's part of being creative.
Absolutely. Although in saying that though, like this, you're very much now in the era when people are looking for stuff like that. If they're intrigued about something, like the thing that pops into my head is mostly from like talking about like video games and stuff like that. Like I watch stuff on YouTube for like game theory and stuff, like what Matt Pat used to do and the new creators on there. And they would go in depth of like these games and like, oh, there's these ARGs and there's these Easter eggs that lead to this, and you have to go and do this, and you have to run it through like some sort of cryptograph and run it through this thing, and this gives you this back, and then you take it to this website, and I'm like, how is this in depth? But like people who love the stuff like jump onto it and they start digging for these Easter eggs and start digging for stuff. So I think yeah, there's a whole audience out there that's probably never going to see like what you're doing and what you've done and the subtleties to it, and they're not going to get it. Like, because I'll be honest, I don't know if I'd have seen half that stuff if you haven't told me. But now when I read it, I'm going to be aware of it. But at the same time, though, it's like when there's people that notice stuff, like, and especially with the internet now, there's going to be chatted about it because they're going to be like, "Oh, did you see this thing? Oh, did you see that thing?" And those that are like, especially for a property like Black Mirror, there is a fan base out there who are going to delve onto this, and there is part of that fan base that's going to just dig into like the details and like, oh, did you see this thing? Did you see that? It's like you're very much in an era now where people are starting to look for things like that occasionally. So I think you're going to get a little bit of it. But like you said, though, yeah, most of your audience probably not. But I think part of that creativity, though, is it's for you to express something. It's you putting in little things that even you notice, and sometimes you just need to be okay with that.
Uh, I always liken making comic creations to a restaurant. I can go into that in more detail if you want to know,
Hmm.
but the reality is I've eaten a couple of times at 3-star Michelin restaurants. I don't really like them because I want food that's just tasty. I don't want to just like a foam sponge. Yes, I can't get that anywhere else. Fine, but I want food, right?
Yeah.
So when I want people who, no matter who they are, they should enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, there is more to it. That's what I'm after. That no matter what, you enjoy it at the base level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In all honesty, I agree with you on that completely. Like, if stuff starts to get too like that, using the restaurant analogy, for example, like that's like, yeah. Like, I'm sure what you're making tastes phenomenal, and I'm sure it's an experience, but at the end of the day, does it taste good and am I getting fed? That's at the baseline of like, I'm going to a restaurant, I want to leave like full and happy. If you can accomplish that, I'm good. Like, I can get that if I go to like, get burger and chips from somewhere or a pizza from somewhere as much as I can from like a Michelin star restaurant. So like sometimes like it's just enough. So I absolutely get that from a comic. It's like, yeah, like sometimes seeing that stuff is great, but at the same time you still have to like, is it a good story? Am I enjoying this? Am I being well fed, essentially? Am I come out of it with an experience of sitting down going, that was a really good comic?
Yeah. Look, and people like different things. That's the reality. Like, so I care mostly about writing,
Mm-hmm.
uh, then the art, then the coloring, then the lettering. Some people like comics just for the lettering. Go, look how the lettering is done. That's the honest reason they're buying the comic book.
Yeah.
Other people just for the colors. Other people just for the art. I think most people for the writing, but it depends. But if you hit all four and it's
Yeah.
told well, and it's like a restaurant. Like some people go there for the food, some people go for the price, some people go for the location, some people go for the ambience, right? And if you, so some people like my wife, if the ambience is crap, doesn't matter how good the food is, how cheap it is, doesn't matter. She won't go in there.
Yeah.
It depends on what people are going for.
I think that's it as well. And it also depends on like, it doesn't matter what you're going for. If one of those things is off enough, it can throw you. Like, I'm like you, like, I want to go into a comic. Like, I don't care about the other stuff as much as I do the story. I want it to be a good story. But if the art is off, or I'm not a fan of the coloring, like, it can throw me off of it. I've read comics where I'm like, this is a decent story, but the art was horrible, and I'm like, I don't want to keep reading this. It's so awful to look at. I'm like, I can't keep looking at it.
I gave a lecture on comics, and I remember doing it at Cyprus Comic Con, and I showed coloring examples from Archie, classic from the 80s or 70s, I can't remember. And then I showed one that was done in the 2000s, and it was so neon garish, and it was awful. And just the audience reaction, I put up the first one, and then look how they chose to modernize it. I clicked at the second one, and the whole audience went, ugh. And that reaction, it was because I hadn't, it was the first time doing the lecture. I was like, wow, yeah, okay, I'm justified, but it was just like, yes, I'm actually happy that you are as disgusted as I am.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like, and that's what you don't want. Like, if you do something like that for a girl, like put up the artwork and it's like your whole audience reacts like that, I'm like, you've done something wrong. Like, it's
Yes.
no, like, that's not a
But
good
having said
reaction.
that, maybe people have read my comics and have the same that storyline. So I don't know. Maybe that's happened. I don't know.
I mean, it's possible, and that's it. It comes down to personal taste sometimes as well. Like, I mean, I've read comics, I've watched films, I've watched TV shows that people have highly praised, and I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get why it's popular. I don't. This is
So yeah, okay, now we're going philosophical. Okay, I'm here to plug the Black Mirror comic book. I should talk about that. But
it's
it's
all right.
interesting.
We're only 20 minutes in. We're fine. Um,
Because there's commercial success and there's critical success, and I don't see why you have to pick. I believe you can have both,
yeah.
and it's about being savvy to that. Okay, so going back to Alan Moore, who I think I'm a huge fan of his early work. I'm not so much his later stuff. He did a book which intellectually, so if you see what they're doing, is very clever. Where the book is like it's set over time, and in the start, that's how vocabulary and language has evolved. So he
Hmm.
only has 100-word vocabulary at the start of the book, and as you progress, people get more vocabulary, and then by the end, it's words you've never heard of. Okay, now intellectually, that's a clever approach,
Yeah.
but practically, it's not fun.
No.
Do you know? So
No, absolutely.
So, for critics who are like, oh, I see what you did there. It's so intelligent, something new, fresh, never seen before, breaking new ground. Okay, but it's not going to be a commercial success. All right, so I think you can always have both. Just sorry, I shouldn't disparage other creators, especially the great Alan Moore, but that's just my opinion.
It's all right. But that's the thing, though. It's like, you have to be honest about your stance on stuff. Like you said, what he did was phenomenal idea. Like, that's, as a creator, that's a phenomenal concept. Like, oh, we'll show the expanding of language by using other words. But at the end of the day, if your audience doesn't get it, all I would be thinking is by the end of it is like, I don't know what they're talking about anymore.
Well, it's like 2001: A Space Odyssey, right? I'm a story person. I did not like the film. Now, visually, it is genius.
Yeah.
When the film came out, the premiere, people were like, well, Burt Reynolds was like walking down the aisle going, "What is this about?" People left the theater because this. And I remember a very intelligent friend of mine. She loved it. It's her favorite film. And I said to her, "What's it about?" And she couldn't answer the question. Now, I actually do know what it's about only because I read the book, which is written at the same time as the film. And if once I know what the story's about, because I knew the story, now the film is genius to me
Yeah.
because I know what's happening. But I need a story personally. Not everyone does. Not everyone does.
Yeah.
People, I always get in trouble about this, but people who like Michael Bay or Zack Snyder films, visually they are geniuses.
Oh,
They are
yeah.
brilliant. But story-wise, no.
They're not known as that. And it's like, and I'm quite happy to say that. Like, I'll happily sit and watch a Michael Bay movie just because, like, yeah, big set pieces and explosions and different stuff. And I'm not watching it for this. Like, I love the Transformers movies for the action scenes. Like, I'm not going for the stories because there isn't one. It's like,
I haven't managed to watch any of them. I only started. I tried 3 times to watch Armageddon. I gave up. It was so stupid. But I mean, it's got good-looking people. It looks amazing. But
oh, yeah.
just,
It's,
I
I'll be
want to
honest,
shoot
like,
myself.
I love Armageddon. It's such a good movie.
Oh
And
my god!
but the
Oh my
stories,
god!
like,
This interview's over.
it's drillers going onto a big rock trying to blow it up before it destroys Earth. And I'm like, that's the story. And I'm like, okay, I'm in for it. Crazy action scenes
How,
of them driving about a rock. It doesn't make sense, but it's so stupid. I love it.
like even the opening scene with head drill pipes flying out of the drilling rigs. I know how rigs work. That does not happen unless
Yeah.
it's an emergency. Oh my god! And
Yeah.
the idea that it's faster to train drillers to be astronauts than it would be to train astronauts to be drillers is stupid.
It
I'm
is.
like, oh my god! Sorry.
Oh no,
Sorry.
no, no, I completely agree with that. It's like I'm fully aware of how dumb the concept is, and it's like, but it's like it's one of those ones of like it literally is like the popcorn movie where like turn my brain off and just watch this
I know. Do you know
unfold.
what? I know people who do that. I just can't.
Yeah.
I have to. I have to. I like think. This is why I like Black Mirror. I like thinking.
Yes. I'll be honest, like, I'm able to turn my brain off for that, but like I do like engaging with stuff like that. I think it's a completely it's just one of those things. It's like, but like you said, those sort of stories just don't have story to it. But to segue though, because we've attempted to segue into it already, into Black Mirror, because we went to go and talk about Black Mirror, then went on another tangent, because that's what
Well,
happens here.
the reason I like Black Mirror is because it makes you think. It
Yes.
raises interesting concepts, and I love that. And it also surprises you. It's entertaining, surprises you, makes you think, and I think that's wonderful.
Yeah. I I love Black Mirror. Like, I fell in love with the show. I will be honest, I prefer the earlier seasons of it. Like, the later seasons are still good, but like the earlier on ones, I just felt like I liked the little bit of darker stuff that it
I
used
thought
to do.
5 and 6 went down a bit, but 7
Yeah,
went back up
seven
again.
definitely started going back up. Seven was definitely like, okay, we're starting to get back on here. But I like, I mean, that's one of the reasons I gravitated to your comics. I like the darker tone to stuff that it used to do. I felt like they started when Netflix took it over, it started getting a bit more of a, well, we have to have some sort of kind of okay ending at least. And I'm like, the better later episodes are the ones that don't. Like,
But you say that, but the most popular ones are the ones with happy endings, which is USS Callister, San Junipero, Hang the DJ.
That's
People
true, actually. That's true.
and the thing is, darkness is great. And the thing is, I sometimes, even though I'm a huge fan, I'm like, I don't have an hour of bleakness,
Yeah.
right? You know, but it's, and I think a lot of people are like this. They go to see a film, they don't want to watch it. Their friends say, "Come watch it." They watch it and they love it, but they wouldn't have chosen to see it.
Yeah.
And I think that's Black Mirror for some people. So throwing a few good ones in there, and if they start with that and go, then they go, "Oh, that made me feel sad," but I'm glad I watched it. It is an acquired
Yeah.
taste, and a way to acquire that taste is by sometimes having gentle ones. So and the fact that it's an anthology, people can enter it by watching the ones that people love the most, and
Yeah.
they go, "Oh, I like this. Maybe I can try and push myself to be a little bit further, and not just watch mindless crap."
You're gonna ride me for that one now, aren't you? But
Oh, I'm going to get cancelled for saying I don't like this stuff. But I'm sorry. Look,
no.
but I will say I do think these guys are geniuses. I think you don't become successful without having been brilliant in one area.
Oh
It's
yeah, I
it's
mean
true.
that's the thing. The things that they do well are phenomenal. But
Yeah,
yeah,
they are.
I think yeah, like you're saying, no, Black Mirror's completely on the opposite end of that. And I will be honest though, like I do like some of the bleaker stories in Black Mirror, but like you said, like some of the ones with the quote unquote happier endings are ones that I do enjoy. Like I love stuff that's got the twisted endings. Like I love like White Christmas or Black Christmas or
Mm.
whatever. I love that, and it's such a dark ending to it with the stuff like, and even though it's like three stories in one, they've all got like just a dark ending to it with like, oh, I love that horribleness. But I also love stuff like the one that pops to mind is like Black Museum, where you've got like the dark endings to stuff, but at the very end, spoilers if no one's seen it, like
Uh, sorry, no, editing that out because no, you can't ruin people's stories. Sorry.
okay, I'll mute over that bit. But it's like the way that the story kind of ends, though, you get a happier ending to it, even though there's bleakness to it and there's darkness to it. Like you get a finale where it's like there's hope to it or there's a comeuppance to it, which it does in a lot of the stories, which is so it's like I'm kind of back and forth. They both are good. Like I like stories of both sides of it, but like you said, like yeah, getting those happier ones, like like USS Callister, it's got a more happier ending than the bleak one, or San Junipero's got a happier ending, or you know, Hang the DJ. Like they've got endings where it's kind of like okay, this is the way it should end, and it lets people like leave on a kind of not a bleak note. Um, no, it definitely makes sense. Hey there, Geek Collective. Did you know that Geeks Plus is also on Patreon? For as little as just $2 a month, you can also support us over on Patreon and get early access to all of our YouTube videos from Geeks Plus Comics, Geeks Plus Tabletop, and Geeks Plus Gaming, as well as a whole bunch of exclusive content specifically for our supporters over on Patreon, and early access to all the behind the scenes and ongoings with the company. So if you would like to check out all of that stuff and help support what we do here at Geeks Plus, we would greatly appreciate heading over to patreon.com/geeksplusmedia and supporting us over there. But that's all from me from now. You all have a good day, and let's get back into your video. Alright, so to delve into the actual comic itself, we've talked a little bit about Black Mirror. So for the comic itself, you're obviously taking on writing responsibilities. How did you get the rest of the team involved in it that were involved? Because you've got artists and colorists and letterers. Were they all people you were working with? Were they people that were brought on by the Black Mirror team? How did the team come together for this issue?
They let me run with it and do what I wanted to do. They read the theory, my sci-fi story, and they thought, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. They let me run with it.
Oh, wow.
But they do want approval and everything, so I gave them, this is the preferred artist. If you don't like it, there's two backup ones. And they gave me approval straight away for everything. And
That's
Savannah,
amazing.
it's great because they're a big company, and so there are frustrations sometimes because they won't let me. There are other things we're trying to do. I can't go into the details of it,
Mm-hmm.
but other parts of the company were saying, "Oh no, you can't do that because." So they say yes to us. We start running down the road with it. Then they go, oh no, another part goes, "Oh no, we can't." for that part of the brand,
Oh, can
which
you
is
say
worth
that bit
millions.
again? Sorry, your mic cut out there. I didn't catch that part.
Okay. So they're a huge brand, right?
Hmm.
The rights holders own things to so many different properties, and it's a big company,
Yeah.
and so they have so many different departments. So the department we're working with will say, yes, you can do this. So we go, great. So we start doing these extra things, but then other departments go, oh no, that. Oh no, I'll give you the smallest example was trading cards. We're going to have trading cards as an option for the Kickstarter, and like no, trading cards belongs to a separate division, so we can't call them trading cards. It's something different. Okay, that's fine. We call them collector's cards, but it was a big deal. Um, and that's a small thing. There are bigger things where we actually like running down the road. Things that never been done before in comics. We're so excited about, but then the other departments go, no, that's our area. You can't do that. Multi-millions to us, which is totally fair and understandable for the business. So but it's upsetting for us because like, oh, we're like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
But you think from their perspective, like, come on, like this is worth multi-millions. This is so yeah, it's fair, it's fine.
Yeah, it's like this is a multi-million part of our company, and I'm like, no, we can't just let you run with that because that's literally going to cost us so much. And I'm like, I absolutely
Exactly.
get it. It's like, but at the same time, like that's insane that you've got so many departments kind of like speaking into it. But I guess, like you said, that's what happens with a brand that's that big now. Like Black Mirror is like practically a household name. Like everybody knows what Black Mirror is.
Yeah, and even people don't know, haven't seen the show. They know oh, it sounds a bit Black Mirror. It's all gonna be Black Mirror, like because
Yeah,
it's
they
like
know the
technology.
concept. Yeah, absolutely. Like it's a household thing now. People know the concept and what it is and the stories they
But
tell.
it's not just the brand; it's the company that owns it. They are
Mm,
huge, and so that's why they have so many different departments because they own so many other brands that you would have heard of.
yeah, that's insane to be involved in something that's that big though and have that many hands in it. It's like that's got to be like really exciting and really kind of scary at the same time to work in. Like especially like for you doing stuff with like like Twisted Comics and stuff, and you've got your own stuff that you're doing there to work with a brand that's this big. It's amazing that they kind of went, yeah, we're putting all this trust in you, letting you pick the creators and stuff, but now you've got like all these people kind of like overshadowing what you're doing now.
What's scary is in terms of unintentional things I do wrong.
Mm.
So I may have made a mistake in this interview because I'm a very honest person. Asked me to answer, and I was at a Comic Con in Seattle, and someone asked me a question, so I answered it, and I didn't think it was an innocuous statement in my opinion. But the person he had a tiny website; it wasn't a big deal, but he twisted my words completely and then put it as the headline, blah 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 blah, and some senior people read that and they got rather upset,
Oh no.
justifiably. But it's not what I said, and they twisted it, and it was just clickbait. And then he did it again a week later, after I'd already been bollocked, and I thought I was doing it again. It was just, it wasn't even an interview. I was a panel, and people
Yeah.
would ask questions. So, and that I just felt a fraction of what it'd be like to be a real celebrity and have people take things what you say out of context the
Yeah.
whole time, and just oh my god, how all you can do is be the best version of yourself, right? And people who've met you can judge you,
Yeah.
but you're gonna get people who've never met you hate you for things that aren't even true, and you have to accept that.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's crazy how like I see it a lot in the space that we're in because obviously this is going up on YouTube. So like every little thing is taken and twisted to try and get clicks because everyone's so desperate for clicks on their articles and views on their videos and everything like that. And it's like even like on YouTube, like if I just title this, oh, sitting down talking with Neil Gibson, it's like that's going to get less clicks than if I put some clickbaity title because that's the way the
Yeah, yeah.
system's
Neil Gibson
designed.
slams the creator of Black Mirror, which I would never do, but you do that, people
People are
see
going to
it, and
click
they're
on
like,
the video and all of a sudden it's got thousands of views and it's like
yeah,
it doesn't
exactly.
matter if you say anything against it, we put that up there and then that's what gets out, but I don't care because my video's now got thousands of views. I got what I wanted out of it, but like that's the culture we live in. Everyone's desperately just trying to get their stuff out there. It's insane. Which by the way I'm not going to do. Just
Well, thank
just to
you very
say
much.
I'm not going to do that.
It's not a modern phenomenon. This is like like the Sun newspaper in the UK has been doing that for, I don't know, 50 years or something.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah. But that's it. It's just gotten worse now because you would have big tabloids and stuff doing it, and you would have like TV shows doing it. But the thing is, with the way the internet is now, and everyone on Twitch and YouTube and TikTok, and like everybody is able to do it, and everybody is trying to get ahead in doing it now. So like it's not changed, but there's so many more people doing it. It's like that's what's insane. Like you said, the guy you said it about is this tiny little website, and it's like, well, I bet his website got a lot of traction because of that article, which is exactly what he wanted.
yeah.
It's
Well,
insane.
that's not all that.
No, but like, no, it's insane. Like, but yeah, that's part of the being in the spotlight thing for this. But oh,
That's the thing. I don't use social media.
yeah,
I it's a detriment to our company because like marketing guys have shown me whenever I do a video post, the uptake is so much higher than just text or images of the comic. But if I do that, then I want to see what people's comments are, and then I get sucked. Two things happen: either I get upset with some of the replies, or I get sucked into replying to everything, or three, the algorithms. I find something else on social media, and I hate it. It's just a
yeah,
time suck. I want to actually do work or properly engage with people, and I can't do it on social media.
no,
Or in person at Comic Cons.
no. Social media is like it's a blessing and a curse for that. It gets you out there, it gets your company traction and stuff. But yeah, you're just gonna have you then have to deal with everything that comes back, and most of it is not going to be worth your time or any sort of good.
Oh, please excuse me.
You all right there?
I was pointing at you. Sorry, it's
No, for
last
everyone.
night
Yeah, for
my
everyone
son
that's
had a.
talking, I'm recording this first thing in the morning. For Neil, he's had like a full day on his vacation so far. He's like 7 hours ahead of me, right? So like,
Also, last night my son, I wasn't aware of this. He came in twice to our bedroom. I was asleep. My wife, my leg hurts, so she said, "Would you rather sleep here?" I said, "Yes." So he went to the bed, and I remember going, God, she's been quite aggressive the way she's like sleeping against me, and just I'm like he was like a starfish and pushed. I'm like,
yep.
oh, it's Henry, and yeah, I didn't sleep well last night.
Oh yeah.
He did.
Oh yeah. I bet he did. I've had nights like that. Literally, like I didn't believe it. My parents used to tell stories of it until we had our son, and literally he would lie in the bed the opposite direction from us. Like if me and my wife were lying this way, he would lie this way in the bed, and I'm like, how? Like, and he's comfy, he's fast asleep. I'm getting kicked in the back, like.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, I completely understand. Absolutely. So it continue talking on the actual comic itself. Like, first of all, congratulations on it. It has like almost doubled the goal already on Kickstarter, as I checked this morning, which is phenomenal. You're already like stretching towards some of those stretch goals and getting stuff out there, and you all have got a phenomenal amount of stuff out there. You've got the graphic novel, you've got I think there's a special one with a dust jacket for the hardcover. There's you're giving away copies of the theory, like you said. There's collector cards. There's prints. There's you guys have got so much stuff on it. So the first one is absolutely a success so far, and it's not even out. So congratulations on that.
Well, thank you. But honestly, we see this one as actually a bit of a lost leader because this is just to announce that we're making this comics, and the next ones will be bigger. And what we've learned as well is that it didn't actually go as big as we thought it would because we've had a lot more people subscribe to it, but not that many people, as many people pledge, because there's no Black Mirror community really, whereas there is for other brands. And so what we're going to try and do is get people involved with the next one and show people like as things progress every week. These are the new art pages coming in, and they can see it as it's going, so the excitement builds along the way. That was a lesson learned for us.
That'll be awesome to see actually, and it's like that's crazy to think that it's not as successful because like I thought as soon as I saw your announcement that you were doing a Black Mirror comic, I'm like, oh, this has got to take off. This is going to be
Oh,
such a
it's doing well. but we actually thought it would do a bit better because of the percentage of people who've signed up pre-sale to like, oh, I want to know when it launches. Was,
Yeah.
thousands of people, and hundreds have pledged, but not thousands who made the effort to log onto Facebook, create an account, Kickstarter, create an account, um, just for us. But then they haven't actually bought the book yet. Now maybe they will do in a few weeks. We don't understand why. If you're interested enough and to make that step, why not do the final step? We don't know the answer for that, but we
Yeah.
think it's because they haven't been involved in the process. They haven't seen things happening.
It definitely does help from what I've seen from other Kickstarters, like just getting that stuff and drawing people in, like, hey, this is what it looks like, this is the pages coming out, and getting, like you said, have that involvement leading up to it, I think definitely makes a difference. But, like you said, though, lesson learned for next time, and speaking
Exactly.
of, like, next time, I'm assuming you're already working on the next one, or
Yeah. I can't tell you the subsequent ones, but the next one is San Junipero. Um,
nice.
yeah, we're quite excited about that.
I'm gonna say, like, that's like one of, like, so many Black Mirror lists, like that's like the top episode for people. So that's a big one to be doing.
And I actually have an odd connection to that because I met the producer of that, who um, and we're friends. It's so I got my agent through him. We share the same agent,
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah, so it's nice to sort of come back full circle to it.
That's awesome. That's a cool little connection to have going into it then. But yeah, that'll be an interesting one, because that one, like, if you can get the hype behind that one, like that, I would imagine that one taking off, because like everyone I talk to seems to love San Junipero. That's like so many
Exactly.
people.
That's why
That's their episode.
we wanted to do it as our second one, so we could learn from the first one and do the second one. And we learned we need to post more of like this is what's happening and show art cases, show decisions we make. Yeah. So for those of you watching, I tried and failed miserably to share my screen. I don't use social technical logic. I have a master's in engineering, but I don't like certain tech like social media. So it doesn't work with me. So apologies, didn't work.
No worries, we attempted it, but yeah, but we were talking about San Junipero then, so it's like that is an
Well,
exciting one to be going on to, and it's an exciting story to be taking on. And it's cool that you've learnt the lessons from the USS Callister to jump into it with. I think
yeah.
having it as your second one is definitely a smart choice.
Well, thank you. And what I was saying is that it's cool to show the things that the artist does or the colorist do that add to the story. And Silvano Beltrame does great stuff. And what he did at USS Callister, in the example I tried to show you, didn't work. There's a scene where um, she's trying to distract him and kill time, and jumps into a lake and splashes him, and he's angry they got splashed. Then he thinks, "Oh, this could be fun," and splashes her back. And you see her reaction, and it's fun. And he has the panels the same, and the last panel is longer than the others because the mood has changed. So elevating the panel, elongating it, is something that's so subtle that most people won't realize, but it just changes the dynamic a bit.
Yeah.
So many things like that about the shape and size of panels and how you do things. Storytelling in its own work that the artist does. Sometimes I correct it, but usually 90% he's doing a great job, and it elevates the script.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's such a cool thing to see. Like, I'm so intrigued to see this comic now. Like, I'm so excited to get it, just to explore the artwork. And like, for anyone out there that like is into art, it sounds like something that's going to be something that grabs them. Like, I know Nitro that does the show with me sometimes, like, that's one of the big draws for him. He's an artist, so one of the big draws for getting a comic for him is the artwork. And I know he's going to eat something like this up. He is going to absolutely adore like the subtleties and the little changes in color and the changes in panels, like that stuff. He is going to absolutely adore, and I love it so much. care has been taken by the artist on that stuff to add to the story. Because that's, I think, I don't know if we talked about it last time you were on. I know I've talked about it with other guests, but the transition of something between mediums, I'm very appreciative of. You've not just done, oh, we're just going to tell the story, but it's like it's a different type of visual medium, so we're going to show it in a very different visual way. Like, because you can't do the same stuff that you would do on a TV show because it's static images, but we can still get across the story, and we can still get across the changes and the mood and the elements that are going to play in the back of people's heads that they might not even realize that they're taking in. And like, I love that that care has been taken.
So just yesterday, I had an issue with that. There's the scene when he leaves the game, he's frozen.
Mm-hmm.
When he goes back into play. But the transition when he goes back into play and him just moving, it doesn't work. You just show him frozen first before moving. So I had to add an extra panel in to make sure it works consistently for comics.
Yeah,
And there are things that comics just can't do that you can do in film, and likewise, there are things that comics can do that you can't do in film. And so you can show people things they've never seen before.
yeah.
That's really cool. And I
That
did go
was,
back to Alan Moore, by the way. Alan Moore, I think, pushed the boundaries in so many ways.
oh yeah, 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 absolutely. For the comic, I was actually going to ask that though, is like, how much of you, because obviously this is a different interpretation, different telling of USS Callister. How much have you added, taken away? How much change has been made to adapt it for this medium? Or is it like a, in terms of the story, is it a one for one adaptation? Basically, is it going to be like reading the Black Mirror episode, or is there any subtle changes or differences you've made? Because both are a good thing. Like, both are like a straight up adaptations can be great, and also alterations for people who have seen it before are great. But I was curious which you had done.
Okay, that's a really good question. And look, the when we first approached, the pitch was to write news stories, and
Hmm.
that's what was accepted. But then the people, powers of the be, said no, we want to stick to classic episodes, which is great. I still get to work in Black Mirror, very happy.
Yeah.
But if I'm working on classic episodes, these are not my creations, and I do not want to butcher them unless I have permission from the creator. And I haven't spoken to him, so I can't, in my opinion, it'd be wrong to change it without
Hmm.
permission. So uh, I wouldn't say they're one for one adaptations, but I have not changed the story at all. Like, so The Walking Dead, some characters, like in Game of Thrones, some characters die in the books that are alive in the show, and vice versa. They change it. So it's something new, which is cool. But that's got the creators involved, and I haven't had that access. I don't want to do that without permission.
Yeah.
Um, and frankly, being completely honest, the episodes I've chosen are beloved for a
Yeah.
you know it,
Why change it? Why change it when it's, especially like that, like USS Callister, San Junipero, like top episodes of the series? Is like,
they're brilliant, they're genius stuff. So, but what I am doing is telling it differently. So I'm sure you've heard the same joke told by two different people, and
mm-hmm.
one person says it, one person says it badly, right? So I'm telling it well in comic book format, where I
Yeah.
think someone else will tell it badly. So I'm telling it in my version in a new medium,
Yeah.
but trying to stay true to the story, which is brilliant in its own right.
No, that makes absolute sense because like you've already got like the essentially the perfect version of it because fans will love it so much. So it's like any changes you make is like the chances of taking that and changing it and it still being good or better is very minimal. So why take that risk with it when it's something that's so beloved? No, and like you said, I appreciate that as well. That love for the creators of the episodes and the creators behind those stories, and saying like you've not spoken with them, you've not gotten their permission to mess with their creation, so I'm not going to. That's a rare thing today. People like mess with that stuff all the time. Like people will take other people's creations and do different stuff with it without their permission. So like for you to say like that's such a thing for you, I'm like that's
Someone did it with me actually. They made an animated version of my stories and sent to me quite proud of it. I thought it was cool, all right. This is for Twisted Dark, but it was about this girl who was suicidal, and she's been unhappy with her weight for a while, and she thinks she has a bumpy nose. And I took that from something an article I read about someone and I never a bumpy nose. That's weird,
Yeah.
right? I never heard so I put that in there because that was unusual. And then but they didn't like that, and they changed it to I'm sex. I have crooked teeth. Now I get crooked teeth.
Yeah.
Everyone does, but a bumpy nose to me was more unusual and different and thought provoking. So I'm like, why are you changing the dialogue?
Yeah.
Like, great, it's really cool made animation, but like, why change? So, here's the thing: in the screenplay for San Junipero, there was a line where it says, "Unless you want to go to the quagmire," and someone says, and the response is, "What's a quagmire?" That's the script, but it was a mistake. It's supposed to be, "What's the quagmire?" And Charlie Brooker said, "No, that should be the rather than a."
Yeah.
And we corrected it for the screen for the script for the comic book, and that's cool because when the creator corrects it, it's better. I actually get why.
Yeah.
So, um, so I want to stress he does check things we do, but I have not had any personal.
No, absolutely. And that's it though, it's like you said, it's like, I mean, like that person that sent you the Twisted Dark like animation thing, it's like you said, they sent it quite proudly. I'm sure they were quite proud of their work, and they were adapting something that clearly meant a lot to them because they're then taking time and effort to put it in and create it their own way. But it's like you said, you start messing with stuff, and it's like as a creator, you then start to think, well, why did you change that? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? Because you don't always know the creator's intent behind something, or why they added something, and or why something was a certain way. And
Yeah, but it's fun. That's also interesting because when you get a director, because if you write a screenplay, great. That's it. All comes from the story, but everyone else builds on it, and you can have a director who takes it and then interprets it in a different way and makes it so much better.
yeah,
So um, the creator should be consulted, but not in charge, in my opinion, because each stage goes to a different person who's specialist in their area. Uh, so if you pick a director, you trust them, then they are now the director.
yeah,
Okay, I meant this. Yeah, I get what you meant, but I think it's better this way. It's their job now, and you have to give it control. And I understand that completely. And I'd love to say a great example of that for me is Buffy. When Josh Whedon wrote Willow, and he meant it quite dark in one area. She said, "My brother took my Barbie and sellotaped a firecracker to it and tried to make a rocket and blew it up. Did you get it back? Most of it," was the line. But the way that Alison Hannigan said it was so sunny. And he tied this up and did you get it back? Most of it is not what he intended, but it was better. It was brilliant. So
yeah,
the actress elevated the script. And that's what collaboration is. And that's what working with artists and colorists for. They can take things and make it better. So that's what I'm trying to take a script and do the best job I can with it, even though the director's already done his job. But I'm just saying that this is a wonderful thing that happens.
yeah. No, absolutely, absolutely, and I think that's one of the things I love about comics in general is that they are this collaboration and this collaborative effort that elevates something. That's the medium in itself and what it is. It's all about collaboration. So yeah, it's a perfect kind of analogy for that as well, of like taking something like this and transforming it. It's like I am so excited for this comic. Like from the stuff that I've seen, from the stuff that's up on the Kickstarter, which by the way, guys, Kickstarter's linked down below. Go check it out if you've not already backed this comic. Um, from the panels I've seen, from the artwork that's on it, from the story itself, the way it's played out, like I'm super excited for this. As soon as I heard there was a Black Mirror comic coming, I've been super excited for this to be coming out and completely completely biased in my opinion, to be honest, but I'm like, I think you are the perfect person to handle this, Neil. You're the perfect person to take this responsibility on. Like I said, when I described Twisted Dark, like that was one of the comparisons I make when I tell people about Twisted Dark. Is like, if you're a fan of Black Mirror, you'll like that. So the fact that you ended up getting the Black Mirror series is like, that couldn't have played out more perfectly, in my opinion. Like, you were the perfect man to get that job. So like, I'm excited to see what you do with those, and biasly again, I hope you get the opportunity to do some Black Mirror original stories, because that would just be amazing. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but like, I hope you get that chance.
Thank you. I would love to, because and I think that's what the fans really want. They want some of the classic episodes, but they're killing for new. And to me, it works like it's not my decision to make. I won't push that any further. Not my decision, but I would love to if the opportunity
Yeah,
arose.
I mean,
And I do Charlie's ideas.
I think it would be a phenomenal thing, especially like for how long we have to sometimes wait for like a new season of Black Mirror. Like,
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. So 'cause it's a bridge between
it's
each
a little
season.
bridge, and it's like, it's a different story, it's new stories, and I'm like, is it the show? No, but it's something a little bit different, and it's something that'll, these other stories, and it will give you a little something to bridge that gap, because like season 7 ended and it's on Netflix now, so the whole season drops, and it's like we said, season 7 was great. It was a really good return to form. Like, some of the episodes were stellar.
Mm.
Like, I absolutely loved some of those episodes, and it's like, but now it's done. And I'm like, now I need to wait for the next season, and that could be like another year and a half before we get it. You know, it's like, oh, it's done again. Okay, and I like,
You're preaching to the choir here. We'd love to do it. Anyway,
you know,
uh,
well, if any Black Mirror or parent companies or anything, speaking as a fan of Black Mirror, I would love the opportunity for more Black Mirror stories. So give them the opportunity. That's completely my own opinion, completely out there. I've not been said to say anything. I would love to see. I mean, more Black Mirror stories can't be a bad thing. It can't be.
exactly.
You know, and
So, do you have any more
no, on
questions
you
for me?
go.
Because no, I probably should get going soon. So I'm just because I am supposed to be on holiday and I need 2 days
I know I
leave, and
have
I'm
kept
still.
you way longer than I intended to, and I completely appreciate it. I was just going to say, like, it would be like, down the line, it would be so cool actually if you did original stories, and imagine like original comic stories, then getting flipped and getting turned into episodes.
I don't think that's going to happen though, because well, first look, Charlie should do his own thing. That's his baby. But also, if you're doing a monthly story, there's 22 pages of where you
Yeah,
have to really flesh it out. So maybe that could happen, but I don't. I see it as a sort of companion. Like, between each season, every month you get a new thing that just so you still remember the brand and like people can share about it, excitement up when the next series drops.
yeah.
In my opinion, um, but who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking, you never know down the line if one of them gets enough traction and stuff. But like, I'm all for it. I am absolutely for it. But I think it's a good point to kind of wrap up, because I don't want to keep you too much from your holiday much more. But like, is there any last final parting words you want to say to people pitching the comic, getting the word out there? Anything?
Oh, it's a question for you. Have you read the theory?
I have not read the theory yet. I need to pick it up. I've read a good few years, but the theory's on my list of stuff to grab. I do need to grab
Because that's what got us the Black Mirror one. Because that's my sci-fi
it.
version of Just the Dark. So
I
I'd love to get your that.
I will need to grab the theory. I've not read the sci-fi one. I've read a good few of the Twisted Darks, but I've not read the theory yet. And I think you mentioned it last time you were on as well. So I do still need to pick it up. But
Oh, so from October till now, you have okay. All right, I'll remember this. I'll remember this.
but I'll grab it. And then for anyone else that wants to pick up the theory, little shout out for it. It is actually on the Kickstarter as well. You can add it to your backing on the Kickstarter, which I might actually have to go and do actually, and just pick it up that way. Just nab it while I'm doing it. Which I have also went and already backed it. So I'm speaking as someone who's already backed the Black Mirror Kickstarter. So I'm shouting as someone who's a backer, please go and back this phenomenal comic. please go and check
Thank you.
it out. Like I said before, I will link the Kickstarter down below, as well as all the social media stuff that Neil doesn't use but has got his name on it, so that you can go and check it out on all the social media. Maybe there'll be an update at some point. Maybe he'll post a video occasionally. It's always a treat when it's there.
Well, NG Twisted Comics, we do have someone monitoring that. It's just not me, because and then I try to use it. I'm not familiar with the software. As you instead of reply to that person, I reply to all mistakes they get. Social media doesn't work.
I'll put all the links down below. You'll find them somewhere on there to keep up to date with stuff. But the most important one will be right at the top, the Kickstarter. But Neil, thank you so much for joining me this morning. This has been an absolute pleasure, as always, sir. Cannot wait to check out the comic when it comes out, and we'll definitely be having a look at it on the channel once we get copies of it. It'll be an absolute treat, and hopefully we'll maybe get you back on the show in future when more Black Mirror comes out, which we'll be excited for.
I'll be delighted. We seem to always go off topic, so it's always good, which is a sign that we're having. So yes, I'd love to do it.
I'm gonna say I'm all for it. I'm fine going off topic and tangents and whatever. It's like I'm perfectly fine with that. But thank you so much for everyone that has checked us out today. Go and check out Neil online, go and back the comic, and we will see you all next time. Remember, it's a good week to be a geek. Take care, everyone. Peace.